It doesn't make them trust you more. It makes them trust you less. You cannot AI your way into relationships, and you can't AI your way into trust. If you're automating the part of your business that's supposed to be about connection, what does that say about you? You lose your edge and the very reason people want to work with you, which is you. There was a point where it's so obvious it was just words and it's noisy and you really didn't see me in any of it. Let me paint the picture of what I'm seeing right now. An agent sits down to create a post and it sounds like nothing, like everyone. Like AI. AI can write a caption, but it can't write your caption and it can't tell your stories. And it's not AI slop. It's done with you content. And it's not done for you where you just copy and paste and hope it works. I've been noticing something lately, and honestly, it's kind of alarming. AI generated content is everywhere. And I don't just mean a little bit of AI help here and there. I mean full-on AI slop. Posts that sound like nobody, captions that could have been written by anyone, content that has zero personality, zero humanity, zero you. And I get it, I really do, because I went through this exact thing myself. Today, I'm telling you what I learned when I changed how I think about social media and AI and what happened when I made that shift. This is Above Asking. I'm Alyssa Stalker. Let's get into it. If you're new here, welcome. This show is about content marketing and branding for real estate agents who want to think differently and build businesses they actually love. If you've been here, welcome back. Last episode, we talked about stopping the what should I post question and start asking, who am I and who do I serve? If you haven't listened to that one yet, go back. It sets up what we're talking about today because today we're getting into something that's happening right now in real time, the AI slop era. And we're going to talk about how to use AI without losing yourself in the process. So here's what I'm seeing everywhere. Agents are using AI to write their captions, their emails, their posts, their everything. And look, I'm not anti-AI. I'm absolutely not. AI is an incredible tool. We just got back from Inman, New York 2026, and the message was loud and clear. If you're not using AI, you're being left behind. But that messaging is getting confused. Use AI or get left behind has turned into use AI for everything. And content is probably the worst possible use of AI. You need to show up in your content for you to be seen for who you are. And that's ultimately why people decide to work with you. Not because you have great AI generated captions, because they feel like they know you. So let me paint the picture of what I'm seeing right now. An agent sits down to create a post. They're tired, they're busy, they don't know what to say, so they open their good old friend chat. They type in, write me a caption about spring market trends. Chat spits out 150 words, they copy, they paste, they hit post, and it sounds like nothing, like everyone, like AI, or they're using one of those AI tools that generates like entire carousels for them. The images complete with graphics and copy and everything, and they just post it and it's just there. It's filling a spot on their feed. It's not actually doing anything or getting saves or shares or starting conversations. It's just existing. And your clients are using AI too. They know what ChatGPT sounds like. They can spot it from a mile away. So when you post that AI generated caption about spring market trends, they're not thinking, wow, she's so knowledgeable. They're actually thinking she didn't even write that. And I know what you're thinking, but I don't have time to create content. AI is what's actually helping me show up right now. Look, I will always say this, showing up is better than not showing up. So I'll give you that. But if the choice is AI or no content, okay, fine, like maybe use AI a little bit, but you're doing yourself a disservice, honestly, because you're not actually building the thing you think you're building. You're not building trust. You're not building connection. You're not building a brand that makes people want to work with you. You're honestly just out there creating noise, and there's so much of it. There's so much AI noise. So why add to it? Like, this is actually your opportunity to be different, because people scroll past AI generated content without even stopping because it doesn't make them pause, and they know what they're seeing because it doesn't make them think anything different. It doesn't make them feel anything different. It doesn't stand out. And if your content isn't making people feel something or stop what they're doing, it's not doing its job. So why is this happening? Why are agents defaulting to AI for everything? It's because you were sold an easy way to show up. And the honest truth is, if you want good content, it's not easy. You don't have to be a full-time content creator. You're a real estate agent. But I really want to be honest with you, because creating content that actually works as a lead source or the main lead source for your business, it takes time and it does take effort. And that's not sexy. That's not what people want to hear. They want to hear, just use this AI tool and you'll be all set. But it doesn't work that way. Nothing that's worth building works that way. I treated content like a non-negotiable. It was a non-negotiable activity for me when I was building my real estate business. And not because I loved creating content every single day, but because I knew it was what was going to drive my business forward. And if anybody had an excuse to be busy, it was me. I was a new mom. I had 2 under 2. We also owned a business I was helping my husband with, and I was literally getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to write newsletters, to edit my Canva templates, and that became my peak creative time. Then I would spend the rest of the morning hours with my kids. Sometimes I'd be listening into Zoom trainings on my AirPods so that I could learn the business. Then I'd be filming stories of me, like talking on camera during our stroller walks. I would do my engagement while we were at the park, or I was pushing the kids on the swing. And then I would batch create reels during nap time. Back then we were kind of pointing and doing a lot of voiceovers, but it was quiet. And I was doing this all while managing clients and doing showing appointments in the afternoons, or taking calls over folding piles of laundry while keeping my babies entertained with snacks or a playpen. So I was battling being an attentive mom, a real estate agent, and honestly, a part-time content creator, because I chose that because that's what I had to work with if I wanted to build my business. I couldn't take my kids and go knock on doors, nor would I want to, because that's potentially dangerous. And honestly, it feels very icky for me to do. And I've tried that too, over time, just to see. I've tried, and it's always a hard pass. So all this to say, if you chose social media as your lead source, you need to choose the work that comes with it. There is not a single lead source that you don't have to put effort into. And I'm not just talking about social media. There's not a single lead source, but you have to decide that you're going to commit. And yes, there are tools that can help. AI is one of them, but the tool is not the strategy. The tool is not you. The messaging around AI has been use AI or get left behind. And that's true in a lot of ways. AI can help you be more efficient. It can help you analyze data. It can help you automate tasks that don't require your personal touch, but it can't replace you showing up as yourself. And somewhere along the way, agents started thinking AI could do the hard part for them. The thinking, the creating, the showing up, the being vulnerable and real and human. But that's not what AI is for. At least that's not what it's for when it comes to content that is supposed to build relationships. AI should be used as a tool to help you make content more efficiently, not replace your content itself. And I know you might be sitting there thinking, but I don't have time to create content. Okay, I hear you, but let me ask you this. Do you have time to build your business? Do you have time to generate leads? Do you have time to work on transactions and close deals? Because that's what content is. It's not separate from your business. It is your business, or at least it's a massive part of it if you've chosen social media as your lead source. So if you want to save time, there are plenty of tools that exist, including Coffee and Contracts, to help you with that. But you need an actual strategy, and you have to bring yourself to it. Even the best templates and content strategy in the world won't perform at its absolute best unless you're putting in the time to show up as yourself within it. And also create authentic relationships by physically being present and putting the time into building them. You cannot AI your way into relationships, and you can't AI your way into trust or AI your way into someone choosing to work with you over every other agent in their market. Here's what I didn't see coming when I was in my ChatGPT happy phase. You lose your edge and the very reason people want to work with you, which is you. Let me tell you what happened to me, because I went through this exact thing. When ChatGPT first came out, I got a little bit ChatGPT happy. I thought, this is amazing. This is going to change everything. And at first, I won't lie, it did give me what I felt like was a competitive edge on like the output side of things at the time. I was able to put out more content. I was able to do it faster. I was saving time on the creative process of bringing my ideas to fruition, because that creative process truly takes a long time and you're not always in the zone or the mood or the place to get it done. Things come up and it gets pushed aside. We all experience that. So AI felt like the solution. I could have an idea, feed it to chat, and boom, caption written, all the carousel copy on the slides created, the newsletters drafted, and I was cranking out content. And for a minute there, I felt like I'd figured it out. I felt like I'd found a cheat code, but then I started looking back at those posts recently, and there was a point where it's so obvious it was just words and it's noisy, and you really didn't see me in any of it. There was no personality, no perspective. There was no story. It was just information, and it's generic, and it could have been written by anyone, information. And pretty quickly, that novelty wore off. People started to see right through it, I think. And you have to remember that as an agent, you're not the only one using AI. Your clients are using it too. They're hip to when ChatGPT wrote that email for you, or they know if it wrote that caption on your post and that you took no time at all to edit it or make it personal. They can tell. And it doesn't make them trust you more. It makes them trust you less, because if you're not even willing to show up in your own content, why would they trust you to show up for them in a transaction? Think about it. If you're automating the part of your business that's supposed to be about connection, what does that say about you? What does that say about how you'll handle their deal, their questions, their stress? That's what's running through their mind when they see generic AI-generated content. Not consciously maybe, but it's there. They're thinking, does she even care? Does she even know what she's talking about? Or are they just going through the motions? And that's the cost. You think you're saving time. You think you're being efficient, but you're actually eroding the very thing that makes people want to work with you. And it's your personality, and it's your perspective, it's your voice, it's you. And that's the thing that makes you different from every other agent that they could call. AI can write a caption, but it can't write your caption, and it can't tell your stories, and it can't share your insights from your lived experience. And that's what people are actually looking for when they're deciding who they want to work with. They want to know who you are and how you think, and whether you understand them, whether you get them. And you can't AI that. So what shifted for me? How did I change how I think about social media and AI? I completely turned off the slop and I started using AI differently. I went back to testing posts with me in them. I used my voice, my perspective, my stories, and I really thought about content that my ideal client could actually resonate with. And I still used AI to help me leverage what worked, to be able to multiply it, to refine it, to analyze my strategy, but it didn't create the concept. It didn't create the copy. I did. And here's what that actually looks like for you in practice. So let's say you post a carousel about a neighborhood in your market and it performs really, really well. It has high saves, high shares, good engagement, all the things we are looking for. Old you with AI would have just asked chat to write 5 more carousels about different neighborhoods and post them. You would have posted them and they would have been fine, but they wouldn't have been you. The new you is going to use AI to help you understand why that carousel worked. What about the structure resonated with the audience? What about the messaging landed? And what can you learn from this to be able to apply it to your future content? And then you create the next carousel yourself with your voice, with your perspective, your take on the neighborhood or what's happening. Then AI helps you refine, but it doesn't replace. And I know what you might be thinking, okay, that might be easy for you to say. You're a marketer. This stuff comes easy to you. And I'm going to be real with you. No, it doesn't. It's actually extra hard for me because when I was an agent, even though I had success with content, it was hard. And now as a marketer and a coach, it's easier for me to help others with their content than to actually work on my own. So I don't say this from a preachy soapbox. I say this from someone who has struggled with this exact thing. But here's what I've learned. You don't have to have those skills. You don't have to be a marketer. You don't have to be a content creator because things exist like coffee and contracts that save agents 3 to 5 hours a week at minimum on their marketing. And it's not AI slop. It's done with you content. And it's not done for you where you just copy and paste and hope it works. It's backed by an actual proven strategy that works because there's also white space baked in within it. There's instruction on how to make it your own. And you're not starting from scratch every single time, but you're also not just posting generic content that could have been written by anyone. And without this being a shameless plug, this is honestly the best possible outcome for a busy agent who wants a super powerful but personalized social media presence. This is exactly what it takes, especially now more than ever, to stand out in this noisy AI slop era. Because here's the thing, AI is not going away. It's only going to become more popular. And you should be using it, but you should be using it as a tool, not as a replacement. So hear this. Use AI to help you brainstorm ideas. Use it to help you analyze what's working. Use it to help you save time on the parts of content creation that don't require your voice, but don't use it to replace you showing up as yourself because that is the whole point. People don't follow you because you have great AI generated captions. They follow you because they feel like they know you and they trust you and they want to work with you. And AI just can't build that for you. This is something we talk about a lot inside of Coffee and Contracts. How to use tools like AI without losing yourself in the process, how to build a content strategy that's sustainable, that doesn't require you to be a full-time content creator, but that also doesn't rely on AI to do the work for you. We give you the frameworks, we give you the templates, we give you the strategy, but we also give you the instruction on how to really personalize it and make it yours. Because that is what actually works. That's what we see working for thousands of agents in our membership. And we know that it's proven. It actually converts followers into clients. And it's not generic content or AI slop, but it's you showing up consistently in your own voice. And if you're sitting here thinking, I need help with this, I don't know how to do this on my own, that's exactly what the membership is for. So check it out in the show notes. So here's what I want you to think about. What could change if you stopped using AI to replace yourself and you started using it to enhance yourself? What if you brought your personality, your perspective, and your voice back into your content? And what if you treated content like a non-negotiable part of building your business, not just something to check off a list? I think you'd be surprised at what happens. If this episode landed for you, if something clicked, do me a favor, please hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, and share this with another agent who's stuck in the AI slop cycle, maybe lovingly, gently. They need to hear this. Seriously, send it to them, please. Because the shift really, really does matter for our industry especially. Next week, I'm bringing my CEO and founder of Coffee and Contracts, Haley Ingram, on for the very first time. We're doing office hours with Haley, and we're talking about what's actually working for agents right now, what's not, and if you want insider perspective on what thousands of agents are doing and what's actually getting results, you need to hear this conversation. Until next week, stay above asking.